Let's get right into the names. We will start off with the stanza Ritu Sudarshana Kāla, parameṣṭhī, parigraha, ugra, saṃvatsara, dakṣa, viśrāma, visvadakṣiṇa. Name number 417, Ritu, the Lord of Time who governs the seasons. Now, the name is derived from the root ragati prapaneyoha, which means to go. So, Ritu refers to seasons as they push one another out and keep coming afresh without interruption. Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this name as seasons represent time, and Bhagavan, being the very essence of time, is denoted as Ritu. One season prods the other out and declares its arrival, so he concludes that this name indicates Bhagavan is the form of time which is behind the cycle of seasons. Hence, Bhagavan is called Ritu because he is everywhere in all forms and all seasons. Name number 418, Sudarshanaha. His darshan leads to moksha. Bhagavan Bhashyakar gives three interpretations for this name. Shobhanam, Nirvana Phalam Darshanam Jnanam Asya iti Sudarshanaha, one whose auspicious sight or knowledge leads to liberation or moksha. Or Shubhe Darshana Ikshana Padma Patrayate Asya iti Sudarshana, one who has beautiful eyes that resemble the petals of the lotus. Or the third one is he is easily visible to his devotees, hence he is Sudarshana. Interpreting the current Naam also refers to the deity Sudarshan Chakra. Just as time is spinning uninterruptedly in the form of the 6 seasons, the 6-pronged Sudarshan Chakra is also revolving powerfully and without interruption, and is yet another name of the Lord. Name number 419, Kāla, meaning he is the limiting factor, all the all-pervasive time, and he's setting limits to everything. The name has several meanings, but mostly it just means one who measures and sets a limit to everything. He who is death or annihilation to all his enemies. So, Kālaya Namaha, this name is derived from the root Kāla Samkhyane, to measure or to count. And Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this as Kālayati Sarvam iti Kālaha. He measures, counts and limits everything, hence he is Kāla. In other words, everything and everyone other than Bhagavan has only a limited and measured span of existence. In the Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan says, Kālaya Kalayatam Aham, chapter 10, verse 30, among the controllers of time itself, Kālosmi Lokakshaye Krit Pravriddho, in the form of time, I control the eventual destruction of the world. The name signifies that Sri Hari measures the merits and demerits of each individual actions and meets out appropriate results and the appropriate lifetimes. Kālayati iti Kālaha. Name number 420, parameṣṭhī. One who resides in the supreme abode, which is Vaikuntha. We looked at this name yesterday, Vaikuntha. But parameṣṭhī has two meanings. He who resides in the supreme abode and he who resides in the supreme cave of the heart as well. Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this as Parame Prakrishte Swa Mahimne Hridaya Akashe Sthatum Shilam Asya iti parameṣṭhī. He resides in the prime of the heart in all his glory, and hence he is parameṣṭhī. The Vedic mantra also talks about the fact that the Supreme One is radiant and resides in the middle of the lotus-shaped heart. We also follow Bhagavan Bhashyakar's interpretation on the explanation that's offered up in the Shruti, which says, Parame Vyomni Pratisthita, he who is centered in the supreme cave of the heart and can be experienced is Kāla, and therefore parameṣṭhī. 421, Parigraha, he absorbs all into him. Now, parigraha has the following meanings, meaning he who takes all with him, or he who is grasped on all sides by those who seek refuge in him, or he who accepts any offering and takes it onto himself, and he has everything in this universe under his control. So, Bhagavan Bhashyakar gives three different interpretations again for this name. The first one, he says he is grasped on all sides by those who seek refuge in him. The second meaning that is offered is Parito Gyayate, which is he is realized by seeking him from all approaches. And the third one, is he accepts everything and therefore he is parigraha. So, parati sarvataha grahanam, he who consumes everything and therefore has everything in this universe under his control through his own power is parigraha. 422, this is where we left off yesterday. So, ugraha, he's formidable. We have looked at this name even in Bhimaha. So, Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this name as he causes terror even to the mighty, such as the sun, hence he is called ugraha. Bhagavan Bhashyakar quotes a Vedic mantra, Bhishodeti Suryaha, even the sun rises out of fear for him. Also, we have seen in the Bhagavad Gita where he talks about the fact that when he comes, paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam, so he's formidable when he is dealing with the dushkrit people, hence ugraha. The next name is saṃvatsara. We have seen this name before as well, but in this instance, instead of the time meaning, it means one in whom all beings reside. Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this as samvasanti bhutani asmin iti saṃvatsaraha. All beings reside in him, hence he is called Saṃvatsara. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.6, Bhagavan says, Yathakasha sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan, meaning I am blowing everywhere, the mighty wind is blowing everywhere in my form, but it is situated within space, and similarly all created beings rest in me. Tatha sarvani bhutani matsthanati upadharya. So this just means one in whom all beings reside. The next name, dakṣa, 424. So dakṣa means skilled, means expert, but also means one who is quick in executing those skilled and expert actions. So Bhagavan Bhashyakar gives two interpretations for this name. The first is Jagadrupena Vardhamanatvat Dakshaha. He keeps growing in the world, hence he is Daksha. And the second name is Sarva Karmani Shipram Karoti Iti Dakshaha. He accomplishes all deeds with incredible speed, hence he is Daksha. The name Daksha has three qualities of immensity, strength, and quick execution, which means generally an expert. Pravruddha Shaktaha Shigraha Kari Cha Dakshaha, which means this name conveys all the qualities to be natural to the Supreme Being. So he who is smart, prompt, efficient, diligent in the function of creation, protection, destruction of the entire cosmos is Daksha. Name number 425, viśrāma. He provides the final resting place as also the resting place for all living entities. So the name viśrāma is derived from shram or effort, hence viśrāma means rest. He is the place of rest for those who are extremely worn out by the heavy burden of their sins and the experience of their fruits when they come to this material world. Bhagavan Bhashyakar gives a detailed interpretation for this name. And he who gives liberation or releases from the major waves of affliction like hunger and thirst in the ocean of samsara, great miseries like ignorance, minor miseries like to those who are suffering and who want to be released from such major and minor afflictions. We all suffer from physical, mental problems, bad habits, ignorance, and we all want to be emancipated from such miseries. And Bhagavan is the only one who can give us relief from such suffering in spite of our constraints. Hence, he is the final viśrāma. So, viśrāmayati yasmin sarvan iti viśrāmaha. He is the final place of rest for all jivs at the time of their pralaya or nitya pralaya or naimitik pralaya, all kinds of destruction, individual or universal. The next name is Visvadakṣiṇa. Now, Visvadakṣiṇa also has two meanings according to Bhagavan Bhashyakar. The one is Vishwasmat Dakṣiṇah Shaktaha, which is he's skilled. We have seen this earlier in Dakṣa. But the two appropriate interpretations also talk about the fact that he who takes the Vishwa as Dakṣiṇa, Vishvam Dakṣiṇa Asya iti Visvadakṣiṇah, which is he gives away the world as dakshina or feast to the performing priests, or he takes that as dakshina from the priests, as in the case of Vaman Leela, or as in case of the Ashwamedh Yajna. But the word dakshinya also is derived from the same root as dakshina, which refers to the immense quality of forgiving enemies. So daksha, expert, Visvadakṣiṇa, which is he takes on the earth as his dakshina, and also the quality of forgiving enemies. Name number 427, Vistāra. He's spread out in everything. Again, the name has three meanings. He who spreads, he who is spread out in everything, and he who expands to contain everything at the time of pralaya or otherwise. Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this as Vistiryante samastani jaganti asmin iti vistaraha, meaning all the worlds keep expanding within himself. Hence he is called Vistāra. Now, one of the fundamental properties of every living being is growth, and Sri Hari makes this possible. So he is himself changeless, but he contributes to the continuing growth of everyone. Hence Vistāra, because he is the one who is spread out in the individual soul. So at the time of pralaya or the deluge, all these entities merge back into him, and he expands himself again to absorb all these entities. Hence the name Vistāra applies to both his being spread out as well as him expanding to absorb everything within himself. There are references given to this attribute even in the Yajurveda and the Ishavasya Upanishad. Bhagwan's revelation of Vishwarupam to Arjun is also an illustration of this name. The next name, 428, sthāvarasthāṇu, he who is stable. This name has two meanings. He who is tranquil after establishing the dharma, or he who is basically unmoving, steadfast. We have talked about shar, akshar. So, Bhagavan Bhashyakar explains this as sthiti shilatvat sthāvaraha, sthiti shilani prithvyadini tishtanti asmin iti sthanuhu. Meaning he is sthāvarasthāṇu because he is stable, unmoving, steadfast, and within whom all universes are anchored. Hence, sthāvarasthāṇu. This name also appeared earlier in name number 120 as Shashvatasthāṇu. The next name, 429, is pramāṇam, the authority. Now, the root of this name means to measure or to compare something with. Pramāṇam is like a yardstick through which everything is ascertained. And in this case, it refers to Sri Hari, who is the final proof or authority for everything. Bhagavan Bhashyakar explains this as samvidat manaha pramāṇam. He is the expert authority on everything, hence he is called pramāṇam. He is the final say on every issue, and he is the final authority on every aspect of the universe. Hence pramāṇam. We have talked about different types of pramāṇ earlier as well in the Darshan Shastra. We won't get into that now. 430, bījamavyayam, bijam, seed, avyayam, imperishable. Now, Sri Hari manifests again and again to re-establish dharma at the end of every yuga. We have seen this. So he is the imperishable seed, because even after sprouting out universe after universe, he still continues to render himself fertile. So Bhagavan Bhashyakar interprets this as anyatha bhava vyatihi ekena karanam iti bījamavyayam savisheksham ekam namaha, which is he is the single cause. Ekam namaha, single cause of creating life without himself undergoing any change, and hence bījamavyayam. It consists of two words. Savishekam ekam nama, a single nama with an adjective as avyayam, meaning changeless. Now, normally the seeds turn into the tree and vanishes in the process or renders itself sterile, but Sri Hari is the seed of the universe and he forever remains without undergoing any change or becoming imperishable. 431, artha, he is the ultimate goal. Now, Bhagavan Bhashyakar's explanation for this is Sukha rupatvat sarvai arthyate iti artha. He is desired or sought after by all, since he is the personification of bliss. Now, there are also 4 purusharths, as we know of, dharma, artha, kam, moksha, and Sri Hari is encompassing, or he is the final end of all 4 of them, and the 4th one, of course, moksha, hence he is called artha. So that which is obtained or desired to be obtained is artha. 432, anartha. Not to be taken as in inauspicious, but anartha, meaning he is self-fulfilled and complete. So, he who does not have any other end to seek. Anartha, meaning na vidyate prayojanam, hence anartha. He has no possessions, he has no end, he has no desires, he has achieved all his objectives, he is self-fulfilled, self-satisfied, hence anartha. 433, mahākośa, he is the great treasure, or he has the great treasure, or he who is shielded by the 5 koshas or shields. Bhagavan Bhashyakar explains this as mahantaha koshaha annamayadaya, so on. So meaning covered with the 5 koshas. So he's covered by many sheets, such as the Annamaya kosha. And the way to realize Sri Hari is really not clear. There are many layers that the Jivatma has to overcome before realizing the absolute, which is Sri Hari. And the layers in terms of Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya, Vijnanmaya and Anandamaya Kosh have to be pierced through before God can be realized in the cave of the heart, so to speak, so the Shruti says. Only a true yogi is able to cross all these sheets and realize the innermost reality, which is Sri Hari. 434, mahābhoga, he who has great objects of enjoyment or he who has objects of great enjoyment, both work. So Bhagavan Bhashyakar explains this as mahan bhogaha sukha rupa asya iti mahābhoga. He is the reservoir of supreme joy and a picture of pleasure and enjoyment, hence he is mahābhoga. So the source of bliss, he is the greatest of all joys and he leads to the greatest joy, which is self-realization, hence mahābhoga. 435, mahādhana. Now he who is great wealth and has great wealth, he himself is the greatest wealth of his devotees. So he is endowed with immeasurable and unlimited wealth to be given to those who seek him. Bhagavan Bhashyakar defines this as he is in possession of unlimited wealth as a means to enjoyment. So he is also the means of attaining great bliss, and from him all attain great wealth. Mahābhogat sadhana lakshanam dhanam asya iti mahādhana. The name also points out that he is the possessor of great wealth that can be kept in the mahākośa or the great treasure chest. Everything that is needed for the mahābhoga, that is the great enjoyment. We will conclude the translation of names here for today, and we'll pick this back up again tomorrow. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna. Narayan.